Variations of champion armor pieces are coming. All right, so we have a message here from an admin. Hello, the reason behind locking the Space Wolves shoulder pads is because Phobos armor parts cannot be used on Tacticus or Gravis armors. Lore reasons, plus it simply doesn't fit. What you are asking is basically creating a new shoulder pad for Tacticus and Gravis armor sets. We're actually going to do that for most popular champion parts. Space Wolves shoulder pad is one of those. Wow, okay. That is pretty sick. I love how they have a Tyranid photo here. Okay. Now this is actually kind of huge, dude. That's very cool. I wonder what other shoulder pads they're going to do for this. Maybe salamanders or something. I can see them doing that. But yeah, obviously the Space Wolf shoulder pad should be one of those. Dude, I am very happy about this. I wanted to give the devs a little bit of a W here. They definitely deserve some credit for how far they're going with, you know, at least stretching these champion cosmetic pieces. Because, dude, the value of getting a champion skin right now is just increasing the more the devs work on the game, and that's really nice. Yeah, just seeing the fact that you can just, you know, buy the Dark Angels champion, and potentially the cosmetics for these armor pieces are actually going to get adjusted. And hey, you know what? Maybe we can start to get robes and capes. You know, maybe they can start to work on that and get those transferable. We will see. But hey, dude, to be completely honest, that's actually in the question now, because yeah, if you can just simply change the size and the armor part the shoulder wolves pad was originally, that sounds a lot harder to do than, you know, transferable capes maybe between tactical, heavy, and sniper. That would be very cool. But yeah, honestly, huge W for the devs here. I'm going to jump into the comments here, but I definitely just wanted to, you know, showcase this first of all because A, you guys would definitely like to take advantage of this, but also B, we've been pretty critical of the devs recently, so I always want to try to fit in a nice positive video when I can. I mean, to be fair though, most of the stuff we have been talking about has been on the devs' mind as well, as far as hard mode and weapon balancing and everything like that. So, hey, it goes both ways. As long as the devs hear our criticisms or hear our requests and they, you know, respond in kind like this, where they actually have an idea of what they want to do already, dude, that's pretty reassuring. Of the other issues that we also have, that means they are listening, is pretty much my point. So that's great. Let's go into the comments. Let's see if anyone has any other shoulder pads or any other armor pieces they wanted to call out here. But yeah, huge W. Definitely looking forward to see more champion pieces as well. I can't wait for the, you know, the next champion skin we get. This is awesome, but honestly, with all of the cosmetic changes and improvements from patch 10, it makes me kind of depressed as a Salamander main, because the old excuse that they couldn't put a Salamander champion on the heavy class is a lie. Now, since we're getting multiple champions for the same classes, looking at you, Bulwark, and then, wait, hold on. I mean, it goes both ways, right? like, I think maybe that's what they meant for the time, or, I mean, dude, if we have a Salamander heavy, that's very possible. And then, not to mention, considering the Salamander pieces are going to be easier to access, potentially, in the future, and then, not to mention, we're also getting a chapter pack for Salamanders as well, I believe. Regardless, we're getting more Salamander cosmetics, and they are working on previous Salamander cosmetics to be transferable. So honestly, I think you should, I don't know, I think they should be a little bit more positive. They don't need to be depressed as a Salamander main. I do think they should be concerned with them maybe forgetting Salamanders. That would be unfortunate, but at the very least, hey, we're talking about it now. Then I look at all the other champion skins and how prominent their heraldry is, and all of the extra accessories and details for their chapter. Then look at the Salamander champion, and they don't even have their dragon head on display anywhere. Wait, the bolt sniper. But yeah, honestly, still fair point. Still a fair point if you want the dragon head on the actual armor. Very fair point. It's 80% hidden under the cloak. then nothing on the chest piece except some flames, which do look cool. I honestly like the Salamander champion. I'm one of the only people who like the Salamander champion. That's why I noticed the bolt sniper. It's a very good weapon skin. Where's the big golden dragon head and pieces like that? I'm thinking of the Adrax mini fig that's decked out in Salamander's heraldry with his golden dragon pauldron and the snarling dragon head breathing fire on his chest piece. I don't know. I just really hope the cosmetic pack in November adds some of that stuff for the Sallies. For the Sallies? That's the first time I've seen that, but yeah, okay. I think this is a fair concern, at the very least. This guy said, so we can finally show off our chapter with pride. I do think Salamanders is either going to get some cool stuff added or some stuff adjusted, 100%. But yeah, if you want to play a Salamander, but you're not playing Sniper, I can definitely understand this concern. Yeah, fair point, but still, I think they should be a little bit more positive. Or a little bit more optimistic, let's say that. I've much enjoyed their take on 40k cosmetics over Darktide's implementation. I can't even try and make the character I want. Katachan all day, baby, in Darktide. Again, guys, if I ever just butcher a pronunciation, it's because you guys haven't corrected me in the comments about it yet. So if I butchered that one, it's because it's the first time I read it. And yeah, it is the first time I read that. In Darktide, without the use of mods, I just want to paint my dang mini and swap out armor bit by bit. Quit giving me recolored outfits and guns with duct tape on them, fat shark. Okay, yeah, the Darktide devs. Dude, I like Darktide. You gotta imagine that Darktide is a cheaper game than Space Marine 2, and Space Marine 2 is a cheaper game than, let's say, Destiny, Overwatch, those games. In which case, those games, terrible customization as well. I just more willing to give Darktide a break on that. But on that subject, and considering the route the devs are going with cosmetics and how far they're willing to go to improve them, I think it's finally time to say that Space Marine 2, if it doesn't have the best cosmetics and the best customization in gaming right now, it's the second best. Because I can't imagine another game where I can actually sit there and think to myself, you know what, let me just do some customization for like 20 minutes. I can't do that with any other game. Dude, like, seriously, you would think the one game that would improve their customization would be something like Borderlands, where in the past, like Borderlands 2, you were able to switch your head and stuff like that, and they had a lot of cool cosmetics, but they just kept that same thing. Keep in mind, Destiny kind of does the same thing, where it's like about your armor, and you paint your armor and stuff. That's cool, but still, Space Marine has like the same system Destiny has, but it's just better and cheaper and more fun and cooler looking. So I don't know. I don't have to spend $20 for a color. You know what I mean? Where we're spending like $5 for multiple colors and multiple armor pieces, and then spending an additional $7 for a skin that is now going to be transferable between classes. And they are looking to improve the armor of those classes as well. You just can't convince me there's another company that is willing to do that. And not to mention, I do want to point out, I definitely feel like the devs understand how important customization is in this game at the moment, considering what I just mentioned. If they are already ahead of their competition, if they just keep improving that, that's just going to, carry over to Space Marine 3. So it goes both ways. The devs are delivering. We can still make requests on, particular things, because when it comes to attention to detail, there's always going to be more. You know what I mean? There's always going to be somebody who has a good suggestion to improve cosmetics. So as long as the devs are listening and improving, I think it goes both ways, where people can just continuously suggest things, and it's going to carry over even more in Space Marine 3. So for whatever reason, which I would have a hard time imagining why you wouldn't be satisfied right now, if you're not satisfied right now, it will still be improved. Very great to see. But yeah, I think Darktide, honestly, I'm more willing to look past Darktide's implementation of cosmetics, because cheaper game. For other games nowadays, I have a hard time imagining what game beats Space Marine 2 in customization and also follows up with a good gameplay loop, which I don't know. Off the top of my head, I can't think of one. So let me know in the comments if you guys can think of one. Well, that is actually going above and beyond. Thank you, Saber. Hope the Salamander Champion armor gets this treatment. So yeah, salamanders were mentioned multiple times in this comment section. I want to have my heavy with the gold flame trim so bad. I agree. Yeah, right now, like, if you want gold flame trim, you essentially need to put on a Dark Angel skin, right? I'm not too sure how that goes, but yeah, honestly, when it comes to salamanders, I have to really respect the amount of people who are committed to this chapter, because as far as like popular chapters go, like Blood Angels, Dark Angels, and you know, obviously everyone does love Imperial Fists as well, but there's one I'm missing here. Not salamanders, Blood Angels, Dark Angels, Black Templars, yes. When it comes to those sort of popular chapters, salamanders have been mentioned just as much for this game, if not even more. But perhaps maybe that is because salamander enjoyers are thirsty. So hopefully the devs can deliver something for Salamander Brothers, because they deserve it 100%. But hey, you know what? I've always said the Salamander sniper skin was sick. So if they just improve that, then you know what? I'm just very happy that I believed. But yeah, I mean, overall, I'm definitely really, really hyped for the future of this game. And yeah, I mean, hey, you know what? Give the devs their W for this, because I think this is something that a lot of people, including myself, thought they weren't able to pull off. But dude, yeah, just because they said it couldn't be done at a time doesn't mean they're not able to do it. So they're giving players what they asked for. That's pretty much all we can really hope for. But yeah, let me know in the comments how you guys feel about this. Let me know in the comments if there's a champion, a specific champion piece you want to be improved to be transferable between classes. And yeah, thanks for watching.